Well, I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you. And Roy's going to educate all of us with tax strategies, cash flow strategies. So why don't we start off briefly? Give us just a thumbnail sketch as to what you do for a wealth advocate and your clients.
Well, having been a small business owner, I work with high-earning business owners who are, acquiring wealth, and obviously they're paying a lot in taxes. So that was one of the big hurdles that I had to overcome when I was in business, and advise high-earning business owners on how to legally, ethically, and morally avoid taxes.
Okay. So those words are pretty charged. Does that mean you provide tax advice, or do you work with their tax professionals?
The answer to that is yes to both.
Okay.
They could either use us to implement, or they could actually take it to their tax professional. We find that we are a lot more open-minded than their existing tax professional, because we do it so much and we are used to all of the ins and outs of making it work. We've never had a case reversed that we've implemented.
Okay.
So we're highly successful in that area, and that instills confidence, with the client, and we're putting money back in their pocket. So it has a lot of impact.
Sounds like there's a process to go through to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
Oh yeah.
For some of the
everything is
strategies.
documented to the letter, and even if it's a far-reaching, pushing the envelope, we have all of the the countermeasures put into place, so that there's no problems.
Do you have some strategies that can help a business owner save on their personal taxes?
Absolutely. We generally, we'll look at the tax return, and we have a series of questions that we answer, that we ask the owners in their personal and business life. We look at things like how the entity is structured, whether it's an LLC, if it's filing their return as a sole proprietor, because they start when they're not making much money, they stay as a sole proprietor, and that's the way the tax professional has been filing the return. Now they're making substantially more, and they're not doing anything different to counteract that extra income.
So are there some underutilized strategies that kind of keep coming up that you see?
Well, primarily, if you're talking on a personal level, there are things like you can employ a child. If you document everything, that's $6,400 per child per year that you could avoid taxes,
right,
and use that to pay tuition. If you employ your family members and you have a swimming pool, you can write off part of the cost of maintaining that swimming pool, because it's an athletic facility for your employees. So those are two examples of
interesting
different strategies, and there are a lot more complex strategies that we could spend hours on, that they could implement. So after we look at their personal side, then we'll look into the business side, because there's a lot of tax saving strategies for the business itself. We'll look at property tax appeals. We'll look at what's called cost segregation. It's a method of accelerating depreciation on an engineered study of equipment and just personal assets within the commercial building. There's a workers' opportunity tax credit, which is if a company has a fair amount of employees that live in economically challenging zones, the government actually has zones that where if you hire those individuals, you'll get a payroll tax credit.
Jade, we appreciate your insight and experience, and hopefully our listeners have picked up at least one or two really useful ideas. So thank you for sharing that with us.